there's been a lot of work done in the last week trying to fully optimize the route, and we're pretty much done. So let's go ahead and look at what changed in the route. I'll also talk about, of course, why it's good, how we came to these conclusions, some stuff like how much gear you should actually be expecting, how many cans you'll generally be spending. And you also notice the 100-meter route pop back up, because after optimizing it, it's pretty comparable to 200. I do still prefer 200, but I'll show the difference and you can see which one you like more. So for the 200-meter route, at 200 meters, up until 200, everything is the same. It's the same route that we had before, but at 200, it's been changed so that we run up instantly. This is because we want to try and reset the run, because the odds of you getting the chests down here are very not good. This means that we're going to try to end the run intentionally and go back to the higher percentage chests. And yes, it's lower, yes, right, 34, 36, it's higher, but these pieces aren't guaranteed to be good in the first place. There's, even like, there's no flat stats here, but there's still suboptimal combos, because on the speed set piece, you're not looking for speed set bruiser gear. On the DPS pieces, you really don't want to hit HP. On the tank pieces, you don't want to split F and F res that much. Like, sure, you can say a couple of pieces are good, but are we trying to really hit them on every piece? No. So, really good chance that these pieces don't go well anyways. And also, just, you're going to lose out on quite a bit of gear overall. So I think it's generally better to reset. But if we hit the run up, we'll just keep on running, try and reset the run. If you get to 280, we're 2 steps away. Let's just go for it. The next chest is right there. So you'll protect until there's one left, saving one for 290. We're going to use up every last protect that you have. We hit 300, get our chest, and we know that the next chest is at 350. We just regen every single power up, 2 protects, 1 run up, 1 super lucky. Let's use up all of our protects again. Same thing, save 1 for 310. If you hit 310 and you have 0 protects, then we're going to run up, use the higher odd, because the odds of us getting even further are, of course, very, very low. No matter how you pass 310, you're going to super lucky, and then we'll get our chest here. And the only thing is, if you're on the route where you didn't use your run up because you moved before hitting 0 protects, then you'll use your run up at 350 to try and instantly end the run, and then, everything goes back here, and you just keep on doing the same thing. So that is pretty much how this goes. The only thing I didn't really account for is, if you make it to, like, here-ish, you might want to, like, go, or if you're like at 350 here and you're here for the first time, you could consider doing like run and then try to run up at 370 to get the first time sword at 400. After you get that sword, there's like nothing here, so you probably want to just end the run, unless you want to like fish higher. If you want to fish higher, go for the leaderboard, whatever, like that's your own choice, be my guest. This is just generally what is going to net you the most gear overall. So let's take a look at the 100 meter route now. For 100 meters, same thing, you're guaranteed 100, or you're guaranteed to hit 100 meters, because we're going to run up here 100, 100, and double super lucky for the 30 ES chest, and then we're going to try and end the run. So we're going to run up at 100, use the lower odd, run, and then if you hit 150, we still have a super lucky that we just regened, so you're going to protect until there's 1 left, protect until there's 0 left, and then we're going to super lucky. And then this just becomes a 200 meter route. It's the exact same thing. You run up at 200, run. If you get close, then use protects, whatever. So what about the difference between 200 and 100? So here you can see over 1,000 cans used. It's 57.8 and 42.7 versus 89.16 and 14.37. So there's definitely a lot less of the 32 ES gear in exchange for the 30 ES gear. What about how much total gear? It's 103.59 to say 103.6 versus 101.3. So it's like about 2 more pieces of gear overall here in exchange for, this is 14, this is 42. That's like 29 pieces of gear, 28 pieces of gear, and then if you like add in some of this stuff, you have like a chance to get 34 and 36. Adding it all together, it's pretty much 29. So 29 pieces of 32 ES gear in exchange for 31 pieces of 30 ES gear is how you should look at this. I think given the high quantity of gear that's slightly higher base ES, I would go for this. If you're just looking at like full quantity without regards to quality, then it is the 100 meter route. So I did leave this in, and I also routed it just in case anybody wants to do this, but I prefer the 200 meter personally. So let's take a look at some different testing that we did, because we had like the old route, right? and then here are the new ones here. So for 200, let's just take a look at these two first. So these are two different reset routes. This is the one that we're using here, V2. In the original one, we didn't even bother trying to go for the the chest at 300 and 350. We just hit 200 and tried to like kill it. You just run up and then spam runs. So this does actually get you like, it's just, you get slightly more gear. Yeah, you get slightly more gear for the 30 and 32, but you're like, you also see it's really minimal. It's a difference of what is a 0.24, but we're gonna aim for the chest if we're close. I think especially because not even like don't look at just the numbers here. If you're like at 280, there really is no reason to like not go for it. So this does end up netting you slightly more gear overall, but I think also just like in an actual run, if you're there, you should go for it if you're super, super close. And then, so we're going to ignore the fast reset now. It's just a V2 versus the old method. The old method, it does give you like a much higher chance to get the 32 or 34 and 36 ES piece. It's 1.28 versus 0.45, 0.32 versus 0.88. But overall, you get much less gear because we're spending so much of it, like, you know, fishing for this higher base ES gear without actually getting that much like gear overall. You're losing pretty much 5 pieces of gear here. I think the comparison is like nearly like, even if we like do some rounding, it's 134, 136 versus like 430 pieces and 332 pieces. So it's not like, yeah, it's not great. I think in this case you would go for the higher quantity because of all the reasons that I mentioned earlier. That's like not, even if it's higher ES, it's not guaranteed to be good. So comparing the 100, this was the old method where we tried to go as far as possible, and this is the new method where we tried to reset. So of course much less of the higher ES piece, but way more gear overall. This is 103 versus 95. So yeah, that's pretty much the difference between the two routes. And then how we came to these conclusions, largely through simulations. Avin did 50 billion cans, and we just spammed this. We had a bunch of different checks besides just these, checking like various different protection uses. That's how we settled on when to use protects for our current routes. So thanks to Avin for doing all of the simulation testing. And then we also have down here, this is a comparison. We pretty much went over this already. It's like 31 versus 29. We had a backup method for testing this by Reki, which was a lot of stuff over here. And this is basically just mapping out every single possibility. So let's just say here, it goes downwards. I always forget. So if you're at 10 meters, right, you either have a chance to move forward or you have a chance to die because we're not using any protects here. So there's a 4% chance that you die, you go back to 0 meters, and a 96% chance that you go forward. And then now we're at 20, and then this is where you do use a protect. So there is a chance that you either fail your protect and you go back and you stay at 20 meters, but now you only have 1 protect instead of 2, or you move forward, and remember your protect gets consumed no matter what, so you would go to 30 meters, 1 protect left, and then if you're at 20 meters, 1 protect left, you're either going to move forward because we don't use our second protect. You either move forward to 30 meters, 1 protect, or you go all the way back to 0, and you do all of that, every single thing, like hard mapped out. And after that happens, some sort of formula that he put in, I don't fully understand how this thing works, to be honest, but this gives us all the stuff down here, and then down here we get our results. Now we did this for the both of the 200 meter methods. So looking at the highlighted stuff is mostly the relevant things. There's the 104 drinks per year for the old method, and we got like we got 10.36 versus 10.4. It's close enough. This is about 25 drinks for per 200 meter. And then here this is about 25, right? So we're pretty much right there. It's actually a lot closer. It's 24.96. This is also 24.96. And then we got about 31,000 and then this is 30,000, pretty close. So now for the fast death method, we got 9.89, this is 9.87, and then this is 23.4, this is 23.4. The only thing that's kind of like didn't work was this one. We're off by a factor of 4, but I think this might have been because I got kind of lazy near the end. I didn't feel like doing the last part properly. But either way, like overall, it's pretty close, and I think these results should generally be correct. So let's talk a bit more about the matrix, because this does get kind of complicated at some points. There's this little visual thing here, and if you take a look further down, there's this really complicated section here. So what is going on over here? To answer that, we need to talk about parallel universes. It's not actually as complicated as it sounds. Basically, what happens is, when you're over here, we have this thing here that says run protect x2. And everywhere else, you know, it's protect x1. This is why we have protect until 1 left, until 0 left, because let's say you protect and you instantly move. You have 1 extra protect left now. So you move all the way down, and then here, there's a chance you're at 3, there's a chance you're at 2. And you go to here, there's a chance you're at 2, there's a chance you're at 1. A 75% chance that you have 1 extra protect, basically. And this means that when we are doing this sort of thing, where I mentioned we map out every single option, right? And you can see here at the start, like you go 0 to 10, you go to 2, and then there's no arrows going back, but you can just imagine a lot of like spots moving you back to the start. This, like, you can either move your protect here, and then you either like just lose your protect and stay still, or you move forward. And this is pretty simple. It's here where we split up that gets kind of complicated, because now you have 2 full routes running side by side. You have the universe where you have 1 extra protect left, and you have the universe where you have 0. And moving all the way forward here to the section where this is the section that we say run until 1 left, run until 0 left, is where it starts getting complicated. Because here you can see, like, there's just so many different ways for you to move. At 280, 3 protects, you either move forward to 290 with 2 protects, or you go to 280, you lose your protect. So moving straight up is just losing your protect, and you go over here. This part is the funny part, because you can end up at 300 meters with 3 protects left. Because let's just say, like, you just hit everything, like you're a god. You never fail anything. So you walk into 300 meters with 1 extra protect left still. If you fail your protect now, you'd be at 300 meters 2 protects, but you wouldn't get a reward for it, because you already got your reward at 300. But there's the other route where you're at 290 with either 1 or 0 protect, and you move forward. You finally hit 300, but then you generate 2 protects. So you're at 300 meters, 2 protects at 2 different ways, one of them giving you a reward, one of them not. Either way, this gets fixed right afterwards. They all converge at 310, 1 protect left, and it's pretty much fine. Of course, like if you're at 300, 1 protect, then you just move forward. You don't use your protect, you just kind of risk it. And then here is the split where you either run up, right? You have the run up method. This is why you can see the 1 RU versus 0 RU. Or you have the method where you didn't use up all your protects, and then we don't actually care about the protects anymore because we're not protecting anymore. And then you super lucky, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much, this is like a visual method for helping visualize this, which does help out a lot when trying to fill this thing out and making sure you're not making any mistakes. But that is pretty much everything. Hopefully the last thing I'll have to ever do about the 200 meter and 100 meter routes. This should be the final route. And again, it does, like, it's personal preference what you want to do. If you want to push with the, maybe I'll add that back in, just if you want to like fish for higher gear pieces with the old route versus the higher quantity of gear on the new route where you just try to kill the run after getting your gear.